Hi, my name is Javidan. I'm the founder and CEO at Range Energy.
Well, this is not the usual setup for me at a trade show. We are here at TMC, and my guest today was kind enough to create a podcast booth just for this interview.
Just for you.
Just for me. I really appreciate it. My guest today is Javidan. He's the CEO of Range Energy. Welcome to the Heavy Duty.
Thank you so much.
So glad that we can spend some time together.
Yeah. It's great to finally meet you, and I'm glad we could host you inside of our drive-in.
That's right.
Our Alpha trailer.
So this is the Technology and Maintenance Council. It's a big fleet show. We're in New Orleans right now, and this is a time when the whole trucking industry comes together. And so it was a great opportunity for us to talk about what your company is, what it does, how it's really changing things in the industry. But before we get into that, tell me a little bit about the trends that you saw that as a CEO and founder made you see an opportunity to help the trucking industry.
Yeah, so back in around 2020, 2021, early 2021, I started to think kind of what my next career move was going to be, and I recognized that there was a lot of effort and energy being put in the commercial electrification and just generally commercial decarbonization. And I've been in the electric vehicle space for the last 15 years, a little bit more than that. And so as I started to look at opportunities, and obviously I started to see the big stuff, you know, the Tesla Semi and Freightliner e-Cascadia and all of this other stuff. And one of the areas that, so I started to recognize that a lot of these solutions required massive changes to operations and to infrastructure to adopt. You know, when you electrify the primary mover, that's it. If that thing isn't charged or it's not working or there's a problem, your customers are not getting the load, right? And so you couple that kind of, you know, this is a very binary, like everything's going great or everything's really scary moment, with the looking at the space of innovation. One of the areas that I noticed, no matter what, you know, whether it was the Supertruck program or any of the electrified or hydrogen solutions, fuel cell solutions, I recognized that the trailer was staying the same. And nobody was innovating on the trailer. And I've been driving trucks and trailers, mostly kind of small scale, driving trucks and trailers since I was around 14 or 15 years old. And I know the kind of anxiety that a driver has. I know the safety implications that exist when you're pulling on, when you're towing a trailer, especially in the Class 8 space. And so I had this kind of immediate empathy for the driver and for the industry, thinking, well, what's going on with the trailers? Nothing's being done to the trailers. And so that's when I realized, well, we should think about electrifying the trailers. What happens when we electrify the trailers? And as I started to think through that, we were thinking about efficiency and energy. Safety started to pop up because now the electric axle can actually act as a new braking modality for the trailer, augmenting the ABS and the friction brakes. And so you can go down a long grade, a long mountain grade, 6-7%, and the trailer will actually hold the system speed and put that energy back into the battery pack of the trailer. And then you start thinking about operational fit. Well, if you buy an e-Semi, you have to also buy some property, you have to buy megawatt charging, you have to hopefully the utilities will show up someday, all of that stuff, plus the CapEx to do all of that work. Well, the trailer has to be parked somewhere, and generally it's parked at the loading dock when it's getting loaded and unloaded. And so if we can build a charging infrastructure that works while the trailer is at the loading dock being loaded and unloaded with goods, then now this is a decarbonization solution that, number one, works on the tractors that exist and will continue to work on the electric tractors or the compressed natural gas or fuel cell or whatever the direction is that we go in the future, and do things like double the range of an e-Cascadia, for example. And then there's the operational fit. This has to fit in the way that the fleets work today. Because the worst thing I could possibly do as a quote unquote technologist or a Silicon Valley person is to show up and say, look at how cool this thing is that we made. You guys aren't working very efficiently, change everything about what you're doing to use this. We go the opposite. We say, how do you work and how can we develop tools to slide into the operations that you have today and bring a marked benefit?